When I first began this journey in 2014, after working out how an electric atom would work and how an electron would move from orbit 1 to orbit 2, after I imagined the key to this, I immediately started having visions. Everything in my head poured out what I imagined on the paper of how an electron travels double helix vortex from orbit 1 to orbit 2. The second I imaged that, it went into my head and opened something. I watched it happen, and a scroll opened and spilled out of my face as visions, like a TV screen that you could see through. And everything in the world that I'd ever seen, with thousands of things I hadn't seen, this double helix fitted itself into it and showed me exactly how everything grows. And why? I'm the only person in the world right now who says energy and matter are separate. The only other being that's ever said it is God. And I agree with him. I don't know what matter is. God never showed me what matter is. He showed me energy moving through matter, rotating it and inflating it and contracting it, and giving lifeless matter life. Atoms do not move on their own. No particles move on their own. Matter cannot move itself. Put a rock down, see if it moves. The only reason why something is an electromagnetic object, such as all atoms, as Newton proved. Car's putting me off. Atoms only function because of the electrical system we are in, which is the planet. The planet has a frequency. Our brain waves are closely related to it. They're not bang on to it, and there's no way that you can raise any kind of electromagnetic field in your body unless you do some exercise. This, of course, is shown when you sweat, because water is diamagnetic and all energy is moved to the boundary. So all energy is moved to your muscles, and then entropy occurs where it flies out of your body. And at the same time, the diamagnetic water, which is repelled, anything diamagnetic is repelled, water is forced out of your body to cool you down. This happens also with off-gassing of corals. They get to a certain temperature and then they go. This has been documented on video on YouTube, and it showed that it happened within a few minutes. I think it was a few minutes. It may have been a speeded up time lapse that maybe lasted 30 minutes, but the coral off-gassed and blew off all its colour. Just like that. The Earth will do the same. Earth is a capacitor. Every atom is a capacitor. It will draw in enough energy, and then, just like a capacitor, it will eject energy. This is the so-called heart pump function of atoms. It will induce, and then it will expel. It will implode, then it will explode. Energy in, matter out. Matter in, energy out. Those are the kind of principles that I teach. So the only reason atoms actually move is because of energy within the atmosphere. When the energy within the atmosphere, the electromagnetic field, starts to reduce, this will create changes in the human body and the human mind. And the Bible states this. The Bible also states things like we're going to have pestilence, famine, war and death. The four horsemen of the apocalypse. We've already got pestilence, we've got viruses. They're going to increase because as the electromagnetic field goes down, there is less nitrogen being electrified in the actual atmosphere. And if you look up electrified nitrogen, you will find out that this kills viruses. So the reason viruses are going to explode is because the electromagnetic field is not doing its job. Its frequency is lowering because the sun's frequency is lowering. There's a few things I want to talk about. I'll leave the crazy ones to the end. Now, according to actual scientific research, you can go see this on Suspicious Observers channels because they do a great job of showing it. There is some kind of energy wave emanating from the galaxy centre, which is coming across space towards us. It has put out Bernard's star and then caused it to have some kind of nova event. There's two other stars. I made a video on it and I can't remember those names, but they're closer. They've also dimmed and then expulsed material as some kind of flare. Now, we could say that something is barreling across space towards us, or we could understand that all the planets and the spiral arms are moving through space. So we might actually be moving into some kind of wave, which could be the galactic current sheet, which is what Suspicious Observers talks about. And this is where there will be a change of where the poles are. And it could very well spin down to the equator, and then that will become the North Pole, and then the Earth will reorientate itself. And liquid doesn't like to move with matter. Liquid slides over matter if you violently wrench matter. So there'll be several continents that are covered in water and completely washed away and covered in mud and silt, obviously mud floods. This is coming, but we might be turning towards this wave. So nothing might be barreling towards us. We might actually be turning into it. Now, the thing about a wave is, you see, I understand energy flow. So why would a star go dim and then why would it have an outburst? Well, if you think of space like the sea, as God does, it's a plasma universe, an electrified plasma universe, which creates magnetic fields. When a tidal wave comes into a beach, what happens to the water on the beach? We've all seen it, we all saw it at Japan. The water on the beach disappears and drags everything with it. So, if an energy wave is coming towards us, or we're going towards it, what will happen to the energy within our system? It will be pulled away into the wave. Now, in this wave, I've spoken about Nibiru and black suns and dead planets coming back, because normally there's a binary system, as Suspicious Observers and my general research taught me years ago. So when this wave starts to approach, it will pull energy from the system we are in, and so our star will go dark and our planet will go cold. The atmosphere and the sky will roll up like a scroll, as it says in the Bible, because I've already explained that there is no such thing as wind. There is only the movement of energy within an electromagnetic field creating wind. When this wave arrives, yes, it will drag out. Hey dog, come here. It will drag all the energy out of our system. And then when the wave arrives and crashes through us, it will cause our star to micronova. And then the plasma rain will start. The electromagnetic field will turn off. The sun will go red. The moon will be abashed. Its colour will change because the sun's changed colour. And the Earth will suffer massive revelation upheaval from volcanoes. You see, when you induce energy into a magnet, do you know what happens? First off, it loses its field. It becomes an incoherent field. This means there's so much energy that it's now shooting out in all directions. So you have lost coherency of the magnetic field. It reduces and is radiated as heat. But if you heat a magnet up too quickly, it cracks in half. So that's where the kind of devastation comes from. A magnet releasing energy through itself will crack a magnet in half. Many pieces, they just explode. Which is more than likely what happened to Mars with a close interaction with somebody else. I mentioned that video. So, believing that people can raise their own kind of electromagnetic field and inherit some kind of power from the Earth really is pie in the sky nonsense. Most people can't get off their fat asses and lose some weight. So anybody thinking that they can relax their heart while there's plasma rain and volcanoes and earthquakes going on around them is teaching, you know, pie in the sky nonsense.